completely crazy. I am speechless with what we have just witnessed.
What happened?
This has really shocked me. I don't think we've seen anything like this for about 10 years plus, I don't know, 15 years. This is insane. It's Norway chess, round 3. With the white pieces was young Ramesh Babu Pragnananda from India, super strong grandmaster. He's beaten Magnus before, and yes, it's Carlsen with black. World number 1, Legoat rarely plays, but when he does, it's fireworks. Everything about this game is exciting. It's a classical time control, 2 hours each, but they don't get any time back per move till move 40. The finish is just unreal. It's so tense all the way through, and Magnus plays a Najdorf variation. Wait till you see how long he takes on move 8. It's nuts. And look at this from Prague. Hitting Magnus with a taste of his own medicine, pushing a rook pawn, getting him out of the standard theory. We're already in a very rare bird, almost never played this kind of position. Magnus decides to blunt that bishop, shave an Indian pawn structure as they call it, a3 gives some room, and now here, Magnus spends 30 minutes thinking about knight takes on e4, followed by d5 to win back a piece. Rejects it correctly, but not the right think. Long think. He does find a good move in the end, but burns a lot of time, bringing the seahorse. Now bishop e3. This one develops into the game, and this guy backs up. When you or I do it, it's just a waste of time. When Magnus or Prague does it, it's prophylaxis, grandmaster chess, who knows. Magnus builds a bathtub with the pieces. Queen e2, we see the aggressive intentions on the way, and h5 now from Magnus. What is that about? Well, he's securing the g4 square, so it fights against the pawn storm and threatens a knight jump. Win a bishop, so f3. Magnus centralizes like this. We get the 000, aggressive stuff, and rook c8 hits the half open file, and it sets up this thematic sacrifice on c3. What does Prague do? One of the deepest moves I've seen in a while. Bishop g5. Now often you're seeing king b1 there, so that after sacrifice you can go bishop c1, but not played. Magnus smashes off the knight, pawn recaptures, streams out with the queen, king b1, this is standard stuff, and now he could castle, but he nabs a pawn. Very, very greedy.
Mushrooms.
Prague now reveals his deep point, f4, and not only is this an aggressive claim on the centre and the bishop's now poised to put pressure here, but there's this rook h3 defensive idea made possible by the fact that the bishop moved out the way. I mean, this is awesome stuff from Prague, and Magnus goes wrong here. He should put this knight on c6 for a very simple reason that you're going to see. He plays it into g4, also looks really natural, but now after e5, storming through the centre, banging down the barricades, right, you can't put the knight on g4. It's a superfluous knight fighting for the same square. If you come to d5, this is a horrible pawn structure. e6, and the black attack just isn't working. Not nearly as fast as the white attack, right? King's woefully exposed. This is losing for black. So Magnus drops back here. I mean, how ugly is that? He loves the pony maneuver, but this isn't a good one. It's going to get worse. Look at this now from Prague. He could take, but he doesn't. He plays the epic Queen d2. And he's lining up these sacrifices of the knight on f5 and then smashing through here. You could take, line something like this. Don't take the pawn, sorry, that's terrible. Drop back, knight's overloaded. But even if you don't take the pawn, queen c5 here, and there's stuff like g6 on the way. It's a really dangerous attack. Let's back it up. Magnus plays this knight back to f8. Dad's absolutely ashamed, but it does cover this bishop. Now we see knight f3, opening the pressure. Not the most precise, but they're getting lower on time. Queen c5 re-enters the game, pressures the central pawn. Now Prague takes, a big part of it being to then distract the queen one more time and free a square for this knight. And you're going to see the journey it's on. Not that one, different one. You could take straight away, but not the best. This was played. Now we see knight e4. Pawn drops, but bang. A check. An octopus knight. A force of the king to the f-file. It's never castling. This poor rookie in the corner. Is there anything forlorner? And Prague now plays the pragmatic rook hf1, lining up with that black king. Magnus blocks the way here, and the queen centralizes, hits a knight. I've always loved the centralized queen. So powerful, so many directions, where to go. Magnus heads this way, and this is actually the most powerful move, to keep a kind of control, a squeeze on the position. But this was played. Understandable, but it now gets tricky. Magnus finds the best response. Bishop b5. And not only do you hit a rook, but you hit the knight laterally with the queen. There's some long lines with c4 and all the stuff going on there. But let's not go down that route. This was played by Prague, the check. You could take off the queens and allow a rook trade here. Something like this, not c4. Takes. There's many lines I've been exploring. This is one sample, and although black's an exchange down, there's a lot of pressure on these pawns. Should be somewhere roughly level-ish. It's very complicated. This was played by Magnus. Now we see takes with check. King recaptures, c4, and honestly, there's just so many rich lines. I have to show you this one quickly. If you play bishop c6, most natural move in the world, you lose instantly to knight d8. Bishop attacked, right? Where to go? Let's say now to a4, or this way or something. This is a mate. Not just a check, a mate. Wow. So Magnus spots it. Plays bishop a4. Now if knight d8, well, you've got time to protect. Something like this. Your bishop's not hanging. Sorry, wrong knight. This is the best one. Let's run back. No knight d8. Prague plays rook d8 here. Magnus has got this crazy bishop takes with check, followed by here. Not that he's better, it's just different. He plays bishop c6. Now rook over, defending that knight, and he nabs this pawn. Big pawn it is, and this is the nuts thing about this game. Prague's been on top. Initiative, firepower, but watch this. He's tiptoeing wrong now. Magnus turning the tables in the end game, doing his thing. This is unreal. Knight a5 is best because it's a tactical liability there. Not played. The pawn is pushed. Most natural move in the world, but how about this? One of the most all-star moves of the entire game here. G5 from Magnus Carlsen. It is absolutely epic. Why is this move even working? We will literally explore that. This is a good time to say, by the way, if you want to learn these kind of openings, the Najdorf with either colour, do use Lotus Chess. It's daunting learning a new opening, right? Where to even begin. But with Lotus Chess, then it makes it so much easier. You've got the app in your pocket. It's free to get started. And it feels like you're playing a game. So you're not even really learning. You're just going through the moves, getting stuck in your head like a download of Matrix knowledge. It's so good. I use it most days. And it's got the end game features. So not just openings, play your end games like Magnus. Really is good. Check it out below. Can't recommend it enough. Let's crack on here. If pawn takes, this is simplest to explain. H-pawn's just running super fast, supported by minor pieces. Who knows if the knight jumps? You just can't allow that. If rook takes, now this is the really cool one. Knight d7, and you hit a rook, which is defending a knight, and so if the knight moves, you win a knight. So white has to do something like this, and black just stands better, having won back the exchange and got an extra pawn. better position. This one's pressured. So let's back up. We didn't see takes. We saw knight d6, which was a mistake. Apparently HG was better, by the way, even though it was so dangerous, but humanly tough to do. Prague goes for this pressure. Magnus can now cemento his bishop and lock this rook out the game. Kill it. Huge problem. Check is played. Magnus steps up. Knight hops back, threatening to win a piece here, right? And if it moves, you drop a rook. Bishop c6, technically best. The knight can then jump in. But Magnus plays the absolutely awesome knight takes on d6, hanging an entire rook. I thought that wasn't possible. This is his point. The knights are creating this nightmare for Pragnananda. Check, picking up another tempo. Knight e2. The poor rook's getting kicked from pillar to post. There is a bit of pressure here, so it's not so easy to push immediately. Or is it? Magnus does it. His technically best move is knight f4. Cover the h-pawn from the rook, then go king g7. This one's nicely under lock and key. He's normally so good at finding those concepts, but he plays pawn g3. Now it looks so natural, of course, running that pawn, but it allows rook g8. If g2, you take. The bishop is pinned, so you can't go g2. So the pawn's covered. So white's got time. Should be a bit better for white, but it's crazy. Let's back up here. We didn't see rook g8. Prague blunders right back with pawn to c ships. Magnus now has a drawing move. Not a winning move, but a drawing, and it is pawn g2, but he misses it. Who is this guy? It's so uncharacteristic. And the point is, if you now play takes with check, top move, you don't recapture with the knight, completely losing, because now there's rook g8 to stop the pawn. This one's running too fast. Here, you play king g7. It's a crazy in-betweener. Prague did spot this, mentioned it in the interview after, and this should hold things. Something like this, and after the check, although white can even get a check in, after the king steps, there isn't quite the mating stuff here. There isn't a mate down here. This g5 square is covered, which is critical. Otherwise, that would be a checkmate. So that should be a drawing move. Pawn g2 takes, king g7, not recaptures. But Magnus plays the immediate king g7. It's so tough tiptoeing this stuff. There's a tongue twister. Prague now pushes though. This is the problem. Doesn't have to respond. And if you execute on the threat that you just threatened, queen is made here. King g7. And this should just be winning, right? Queen can head back, hit the knight, pressure the pawn. This rook can always cover the queening square. White should be winning. This is now also a threat. Crashing through. Pawn pinned. So let's back up. We didn't see takes. Magnus desperately tries bishop b7. g2 also wasn't working. You can just run with the rook. This was the game. g2 tried by Magnus, and he doesn't even wait for Prague's response. He resigns the game here.
Completely crazy. I am speechless with what we have just witnessed.
What happened?
Move 46. I don't know the last time Magnus lost 2 of his first 3 rounds. Honestly, must be 10-15 years. This is nuts what's going on here. Why does he resign? Well, the rook can just move, and you can make a queen, but it gets taken, and soon the white pawn will go through. Queen made, overwhelming material. What a game. What a shocking start to Norway chess. Hope you enjoyed, and do have a look at the video on screen if you want to see one of the biggest shockers from Norway chess 2024. Similar situation. Wow. Thanks very much for watching. Do check out Lotus Chess, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.